Now I have the full framework. Let me write the complete script. Gentlemen, I want to ask you something, and I want you to be honest with yourself. When was the last time you woke up feeling truly energized, truly capable, truly like the man you remember being in your 40s or even your late 30s? Not just physically, but in every way that matters. In the way you carry yourself, in the way you feel when your wife reaches for your hand, in the confidence that used to come so naturally. If it's been a while, I need you to stay with me for the next few minutes, because what I'm about to share with you changed things for more of my patients than almost anything else I've discussed on this channel. There is one small seed, something you can buy for a few dollars at any grocery store, that when eaten on an empty stomach in the morning, begins to work on the very systems that govern a man's vitality, his drive, his testosterone levels, his circulation, and his sense of himself. And your wife, whether she says it or not, will notice the difference. I'm Dr. Narita, an integrative men's health physician with over 22 years of clinical experience. I've sat across from thousands of men, most of them between 50 and 70, who came to me convinced that what they were feeling, that slow fade of energy and drive and presence, was simply the price of getting older. Time and time again, I've watched simple, evidence-based interventions restore what these men thought was gone forever. This channel exists because every man deserves to know what's actually possible for his body after 50. Before we dive in, do me a favor right now. Hit that like button and drop a comment below telling me where you're watching from. I have viewers from all over the world, and I love connecting with men who are taking their health seriously. It means everything to me, and it helps other men find this information. Now, here is what most men over 50 don't realize about the changes happening in their bodies, and why this particular seed matters so much. When a man crosses into his 50s, something shifts. Testosterone levels, which have been declining slowly since about age 30, begin to drop more noticeably. But testosterone alone isn't the whole story. What's actually happening is a complex cascade. The enzymes in your body begin converting more of your available testosterone into estrogen. The blood vessels that supply your most vital organs become less elastic, less responsive. Your cells become more resistant to insulin, which affects energy, mood, and yes, performance. Chronic low-grade inflammation, which most men can't feel, but which silently affects everything from heart health to hormonal function, begins to accumulate. The result of all of this isn't dramatic, it's quiet. It shows up as fatigue that coffee doesn't fix. It shows up as a slight withdrawal, a pulling back from life. It shows up in the bedroom as something you don't want to talk about, not even with your doctor. And it shows up in how your wife looks at you, not with judgment, but with concern, because she misses you too. That's why today I'm going to walk you through the science of this remarkable seed, how it works in your body, what it does for your energy and your hormonal health and your vascular function, how to eat it for maximum benefit, and what you can realistically expect. Let's begin. The seed is pumpkin seed. And before you click away thinking you already know about pumpkin seeds, I promise you, what most men don't know about this humble food and what it does at a cellular level is genuinely surprising. Let's start with what pumpkin seeds contain, because the science here is extraordinary. Pumpkin seeds are one of the richest natural sources of zinc of any food on the planet. A single ounce of raw pumpkin seeds contains roughly 8 milligrams of zinc, which is nearly 70% of a man's daily requirement. Why does that matter? Because zinc is the single most important mineral for testosterone production in the male body. Here is how it works. Deep in your testes, in specialized cells called Leydig cells, your body manufactures testosterone. This process requires zinc as a cofactor, meaning zinc must be present for the biochemical reaction to occur. When zinc levels are suboptimal, which research shows is the case in a majority of men over 50, testosterone synthesis slows down. The enzyme that converts testosterone to estrogen, called aromatase, remains active, but the production of new testosterone can't keep pace. The result is a hormonal imbalance that your body experiences as fatigue, reduced drive, and diminished vitality. When you replenish zinc through food, as your body was designed to absorb it, you give those Leydig cells the raw material they need. Multiple clinical studies have confirmed that zinc supplementation in zinc-deficient men significantly increases testosterone levels. But food-based zinc, as found in pumpkin seeds, comes packaged with cofactors that improve absorption in ways that isolated supplements simply can't replicate. I had a patient, Richard, 61 years old, a retired contractor from outside of Phoenix. He came to me after his wife had gently told him that she felt like she was living with a shadow of her husband. His testosterone was low, his energy was minimal, and his confidence had quietly collapsed. He wasn't on any medication that would explain it. He just felt, in his words, like the lights had gone dim. We made several changes, but one of the first was adding a small daily handful of raw pumpkin seeds, eaten on an empty stomach every morning. Within 6 weeks, his follow-up labs showed a measurable increase in free testosterone. Within 3 months, his wife told him she had her husband back. He cried in my office when he told me that. Now let's talk about the second reason pumpkin seeds are exceptional for men over 50. And this one is something very few men ever hear about. Pumpkin seeds are rich in a compound called delta-7 sterine, a plant sterol that has a very specific and valuable effect in the male body. Delta-7 sterine appears to inhibit an enzyme called 5-alpha reductase, which is the same enzyme responsible for converting testosterone into dihydrotestosterone, or DHT. Elevated DHT in older men is associated with two things most men want to avoid: benign prostatic hyperplasia, which is the enlargement of the prostate that causes those frustrating bathroom interruptions at night, and androgenic hair thinning. Here's what this means for you in practical terms. When you eat pumpkin seeds regularly, you are doing something that expensive pharmaceutical medications attempt to do artificially, but in a gentler, food-based way. You are supporting prostate health and potentially protecting your hair, while simultaneously supporting the hormonal environment your body needs for vitality and drive. Clinical trials, including a notable randomized controlled study published in Nutrition Research and Practice, found that pumpkin seed oil supplementation significantly improved symptoms of benign prostatic hyperplasia in men, with those in the treatment group reporting better urinary flow, fewer nighttime bathroom trips, and improved quality of life. For the men watching this who are waking up 2, 3, 4 times a night to urinate, I want you to hear that. There is a food-based, evidence-supported option that may help you sleep through the night again. Let's talk about what this does for your energy and your vascular health, because this is where your wife will start to notice something different about you. Pumpkin seeds contain a unique combination of magnesium, L-arginine, and nitric oxide precursors. Magnesium is involved in over 300 enzymatic processes in the human body, and it plays a critical role in energy production at the cellular level. In the mitochondria, the tiny power generators inside your cells, magnesium is required for the production of ATP, which is your body's primary energy currency. When magnesium is depleted, and studies show that over half of Americans are deficient in magnesium, you feel it as persistent fatigue, muscle tension, difficulty sleeping, and a general sense of heaviness. At the same time, the amino acid L-arginine in pumpkin seeds is a direct precursor to nitric oxide, a molecule that causes your blood vessels to relax and dilate. This is not a small thing for a man over 50. Nitric oxide is the molecule that governs healthy circulation throughout your entire body, including in the tissues that matter most for male performance. As men age, nitric oxide production naturally declines. The endothelium, the delicate inner lining of your blood vessels, becomes less efficient at producing it. This is why circulation-related changes are so common after 50, and why improving nitric oxide through diet is something I recommend to almost every man I see. When you eat pumpkin seeds on an empty stomach in the morning, you are giving your body L-arginine in a state where absorption is maximized, and you are providing the magnesium needed to support the enzymatic conversion. The result over time is improved vascular tone, better circulation, and more of the energy and responsiveness your body is capable of. I want to tell you about another patient. His name was Marcus, 58 years old, a school principal, fit and active, but increasingly frustrated with what he described as a subtle but persistent decline in stamina and, in his words, presence. He said his wife had started making comments, gentle but real, about the fact that he seemed distant. Not emotionally, he was clear about that, but physically, less engaged, less there. We talked about a number of things, but I asked Marcus to try something simple. Every morning, before breakfast, one small handful of raw pumpkin seeds, about 20 to 25 grams, with a glass of warm water. Nothing else for 30 minutes. He was skeptical. He messaged me 8 weeks later and told me that his energy had shifted, that his wife had started looking at him differently, and that something he thought he had simply lost had begun to return. He asked me what was in those seeds. I told him. Zinc, magnesium, arginine, and thyme. Now let me give you the exact protocol, because how you eat pumpkin seeds matters as much as whether you eat them. The key is to eat them on an empty stomach in the morning, ideally 30 to 45 minutes before your first meal. Here is why this matters. When your stomach is empty, there is no competition from other foods for absorption. Zinc and magnesium absorption rates are significantly higher in a fasted state. L-arginine conversion to nitric oxide is also more efficient without the presence of other amino acids from a full meal competing for the same transporters. The amount is one small handful, which works out to approximately 20 to 25 grams, or roughly 1.5 to 2 tablespoons. You do not need more than this. More is not better with zinc. Excessive zinc can actually suppress copper absorption and create imbalances, so we want to stay in that optimal therapeutic range. The form matters. Raw, unsalted pumpkin seeds are what you want, not roasted, because the high heat of commercial roasting degrades some of the delicate fatty acids and reduces the bioavailability of certain minerals. Not salted, because excess sodium works against cardiovascular health in ways that defeat the purpose. Raw pumpkin seeds, shelled, which are the green ones you'll find in most stores. You can chew them slowly, which I prefer, because the mechanical breakdown begins the digestive process. Or you can grind them lightly and add them to a small amount of water. Give this 30 to 60 days of consistent daily use. Health changes at the cellular level are not overnight events. Zinc levels take time to replenish. Hormonal shifts take time to accumulate. Blood vessel health improves gradually. But the men who stick with this simple protocol, done consistently every morning, report changes that their partners notice before they do. Here is your simple action plan. Step 1. Tomorrow morning, before you eat or drink anything other than water, eat one small handful of raw, unsalted, shelled pumpkin seeds. Chew them slowly and deliberately. Step 2. Wait 30 to 45 minutes before your first meal. Step 3. Do this every single morning for 60 days. That's it. That is the entire protocol. No complicated timing, no multiple supplements, no expensive products. Just one seed every morning consistently. I want you to know something important before I close. If you've been feeling like your best years are behind you, if you've been frustrated or quietly ashamed of the changes you've experienced, if you've been pulling back from your wife or from your life in ways you don't fully understand, you are not broken. Your body is not failing. Your body is asking for support, and it is fully capable of responding when you give it what it needs. Even at 60, at 65, at 70, your hormonal systems retain the ability to function better than they are currently functioning. Your blood vessels retain the capacity for improved tone and responsiveness. Your energy systems can be optimized. The research is clear on this. The men I have seen in my office who made these changes are proof of it. It is never too late to begin. If this video gave you something valuable today, please give it a like so that other men who need this information can find it. Leave a comment below and tell me one thing. Are you going to try this tomorrow morning? I read every comment and I love hearing from the men watching this channel. Share this video with a friend, a brother, a neighbor who might be going through the same quiet struggle. He may not say anything about it, but he needs to hear this too. And subscribe so you never miss my weekly health guidance for men over 50. You might be the reason another man takes his first step toward reclaiming his vitality. I'm Dr. Narita, reminding you that after 50, your strength, your energy, and your presence are not things that have been taken from you. They are things you can still choose to protect. Take care of yourself, gentlemen, and I will see you in the next one.